ready to call the meeting to order? Okay.
Anybody else coming? No?
Okay.
I mean, is there any guests or anything?
Yeah, there's a few people on Zoom.
Oh, all right.
Let's see. All right. Any changes to the agenda?
No.
I think I have just one HR thing for the executive session.
Okay, good.
It was a letter from the Department of Labor. Okay. First thing, review and approve the minutes from January 16th. And I'll make a motion to approve those minutes.
Yeah, I second.
All in favor, aye. Aye, aye.
I did. Yep, they're that are in that drawer anyway for the payroll.
Is all this going with it for some reason?
That's the presentation.
Oh, the slideshow?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from January 26th. It was a special meeting. Anybody want to second those? Any discussion?
You second or do you want me to do it?
You can do it.
I second.
You got a second. You have a signature page?
It's on the back.
There you go.
And I'll make a motion to approve the minutes, the special select board meeting on Monday, January 29th.
I'll make a motion. to approve it.
I'll second it then. Our next order of business is to review and approve the company and cost of digitizing land records. Did you want to fill us in on that, Angela? Any?
We got three prices, three estimates. We got one for record force, COTS, and I think profile for the three. Elaine and I spoke, and two of them were comparable in cost. One was almost double. The one that we liked was record force out of New Hampshire, but they take the books, come here and take the books off site, which our comfort level, just anything could happen, even though they've never had an issue. So it ended up being COTS is the one. Price is good. We have a certain amount of money in the, what's the account?
Restoration fund.
In the restoration fund that should cover to get all of the remaining 40 years scanned and online. So it's probably a 4 or 5 month process because I believe they're out of Texas. So we have to call when they're up in the States again. They try to schedule based on their work.
Okay.
So that's who we felt comfortable with based on cost. And they come here. So the books never leave the location and they'll spend one whole day. I think they said it was 1 day, maybe 1.5, and they'll have everything scanned. But there's still work to do after that.
That's good.
They never leave here.
Okay, awesome. I'll make a motion to approve that.
I second it.
And it says sign there, is that right?
Oh,
Okay,
no.
just checking, making sure there wasn't.
No, I'm sorry, that must have come off one of the other
Okay.
minutes or something.
Back the last
So-
page has a signature.
So it looks like this is the signature page I can.
Oh, yes, you're right.
Okay.
Yeah. No, you gotta,
I only gave you guys each one, the COPS one.
Yeah, we were looking for his
Yeah.
last time. You did.
Yeah.
You decided against taking him out of here, right?
Yeah. I'm sorry, who seconded that? You seconded that,
Mm.
right?
Part of multiple
There's
signatures?
somebody to attest to it that I didn't,
Mhm.
doesn't look like we need a notary, but I know somebody else signed it.
Okay.
Discussion on departmental
That's what it is.
procedures. What's that?
When we were talking about departments having, and you wanted to add that to the agenda, talking about each department,
Okay.
you know, for each function that we do. Working on that, I don't know if that's something, how to implement that, if that's something.
I have something interesting to share, that, and I'll share it by email, just like a process, and we can
Yeah.
look at it at the next select board meeting. But it's something
Okay.
that actually we're doing, and it kind of, it's a calendar, and it sort of identifies the work streams and core documents or processes that have to go with that, and that might be helpful to kind of map out
Sure.
the year's work plan.
So you'll share with us, and then we can discuss this at the next
Yeah,
meeting then?
yeah.
Okay.
Is it an app or software?
Just an
or-
Excel spreadsheet.
Oh, something you created?
Actually, my boss did. It was, and I thought, you know, it's like, we don't have to use the same exact thing, but there's like some really good ideas.
Yeah, great.
And, you know, and you just put hyperlinks in some of the boxes, so if you're looking at the document, you can click and like a whole nother document will pop up that's processed. So, I don't know, it might be a way to organize the workload so that nobody's surprised. Like, I mean, that's, if I came to work here, like, I would be surprised at like at all the different things that come in at different times, right? Maybe that's helpful, and that helps you understand what other departments are sort of working on. It might be overkill, but.
It's a tool.
Yep.
Town-owned real estate is the next item. And we had somebody reach out that wanted to buy a property,
Hawk lot?
yeah, and
It's in your packet.
it is, oh, okay, great.
Yeah, because there's 3 parcels, Elaine did up all the information for each one, parcel 102, 1225, and I don't know if it was something, but it's the second parcel, the offer purchase letter is with it, click behind it, I highlighted it, so you would see which one it is you all have in your packet.
It didn't seem like much of a offer, right? If I remember.
We can't sell it for more than the tax, right, that was due on it?
The spreadsheet I did today shows what we purchased for at tax sale. It shows each month's interest at 1% to the present day. It shows the delinquent taxes that are currently owed. And also, Stephen included said we need to account for our own expenses, maintaining the expenses, or if we've done anything to maintain the property, but they're vacant lots, so we have to here.
Thank
So
you.
I did a spreadsheet for each parcel that shows our current expense.
That's pretty helpful.
The thing that might be tweaked a bit is the administrative expense. I was sort of on the low side of that, I just didn't put it down.
That's your time, right, for Dion with
Yeah,
it?
yeah.
Yeah, they offered us $59.90, $5,990.
And what did we pay for it?
Which parcel was it, Jay?
That's 001225.
155?
Yeah.
That's the one. Oh,
It's an
that's the
acre.
most expensive one.
We got 15,000 into it, I think, according to your record.
Yeah, more than that. We bought it at 15.
So, I mean, if we're gonna, you know, do some kind of discount sale, I'd just soon do it local. But I think you can, in this market right now, I think we probably get some money for it.
Well, we should
I mean, this is a company out of Arizona, I don't.
get at least what we pay, what we have in it.
I would think so.
Why would we sell it for less?
I put the tax maps in there for each parcel so you can see where they're located.
So I think probably should list these with a Realtor, can we do that?
Yeah, we can do that.
So I think it's safe to say we can reject this offer.
How do I arrive at, all these sales using code, so they're just doing a comp.
Now, we paid your fee for it.
Therefore, your acreage may be worth more or less than our offer. Well, it's worth more.
Yeah.
There is another person who's interested, and I told him I would send these to him tomorrow after you looked at
Okay.
them.
In the same lot? Another person interested in that same lot?
Well, and all three of them. He
Oh,
wanted to
oh.
see what's available.
Oh,
Okay.
Yeah.
gotcha.
Yeah, can we, so we make a vote to reject this then?
Yeah, I made a motion.
I'll second it.
I agree.
Awesome.
Okay.
This is the guy that owns it, yeah. Emilio. Is that the owner? Or, no, that was the guy that owned it previously, that we bought it. He let it go in their arrears. Is that the only one?
That's the only one.
So we should discuss at some point, I don't know if we have to do some more research, whether it benefits the town more to list it with a realtor on the local market, list it on our own website.
I was gonna ask you that, can I put these three on the website? Because I did set up a tab that says real estate owned, town real estate owned for sale. And I could put the three of those in there.
Yeah, and Elaine, from your perspective as delinquent tax collector, what are the steps that we need to do to?
Depends on how much, if we get what we've got in it, we don't have to do anything. If we get more than what is owed, we have to return the excess to the previous owner.
I like your spreadsheet. I mean, I like this spread. Can we put this on the website? With the, that's shows clearly what the town has into it. If you want to buy it, that's the price. Not 1 penny more than what the town has in it.
You guys all.
Or if you wanted, I don't know if you want to have a realtor try to sell it for more, it's up to you guys. But basically, all we can get is what's on that spreadsheet.
It doesn't make sense to bring a realtor into
It
it.
doesn't have a realtor involved with it.
Because they're gonna want to cut it,
Yeah.
so they're gonna take a cut of that 21. So we might as well just sell it ourselves.
Yeah, and really, I mean, let's advertise it local here on the website kind of first, and if somebody local wants it, I mean, I'd like to see that.
Would you increase the fees though, just taking into account, like the attorney's gonna have to do legal work and stuff?
Yeah.
You know
One
what I
of
mean?
them
So what it would
is
cost
really
to do the
steep, from what I
deed
remember,
and-
but.
Yeah, your
Probably full
cost
of
is gonna go
cards.
up as time goes on.
Well, there will be lawyers' fees involved if
Yeah.
somebody purchased it.
Yeah,
Closing
They
costs.
might, somebody might buy it just to prevent me from becoming their neighbor.
so I think it, maybe you folks make it 20, I'm just saying
So-
25,000 and then.
I'll check with Steve and Kudo on that part.
Jay, this is lot
That would,
1225.
maybe you split the closing
That's not
We have to
cost.
consider the potential legal
It is a
costs
hot
of transfer
property, but
of
it's not the
Okay.
tax map page, I don't believe.
Yeah, we won't get that whole number. We'll get that minus our closing costs, the town's closing costs.
So you go to the, like this one's 12-241, so you go to map 12,
I never,
and then look for lot
I
241.
didn't go with Mike when he went out and looked at them that time. It might be, it's nice. I don't know.
Well, Steve and Kudo did say to
There's
check
one
with
right there.
commissioners
Yeah.
with regards to these values too, as far as actual assessed value is. So Mike will be here tomorrow, I can speak to him about it.
1225. Yeah, that's it. But this one's on Route 100.
Yep,
But,
but it's still hot,
right.
and it's just down, let me see if I can see which one it is.
So it's 12254.
That's not the tax map number. Well, yeah, 12254, you're right.
Yeah. Okay, I can find it then.
Right here.
Okay. Yep. Got it.
Next up is reappraisal funds. Cynthia redid our balances today, right?
Yeah.
Squared those up. She said there's a checking account that has been used.
It's in Citizens Bank, and we want to close those 3 checking accounts And I asked Cynthia, and she said, the reappraisal fund is a fund within
Yes.
our general fund. There's no point in having a separate checking account for it.
It's just a liability, having another.
Just put it,
Okay.
the number that she posts on our fund is the correct balance for what's there, not the dollar amount that's in the bank at
Right.
the bank.
It's the, I think it was around 98,000 that we have in
Yeah.
that fund, and we're about to spend 118,000 of it in 2027, or
I
20,
think we'll have the
2020.
money we need, but it's going to be reappraised,
Okay.
yeah.
Are y'all okay with closing those excess bank accounts?
Yeah, so do we get,
They recommended that?
But what do we do, well, it's inconvenient having them in Rutland. When there was a Citizens Bank in Woodstock, it was okay, but now
There's no
it's not
purpose.
convenient for us, and we don't get hardly any interest on it at all. Our interest every month from M&T Bank is significant. We made $41,000 in interest last year. That's a lot of money, and
whoa,
we hardly get anything in Citizens. But what do we do about the cemetery fund? Does that need to be kept in a separate account?
You could check with Cynthia, but I don't believe so. It's just regular fund accounting, right? I
And we
mean,
would write well, how do we handle the checks from the cemetery then, for payment to the cemetery? Is it going to be on, that's the question.
so generally, I mean, I would think it's handled the same way, right? Warrants, or issue a warrant, you write a check.
But it would be written from the town of Plymouth general fund checking account?
Yep, and then the cemetery account would be credited or debited, however.
Okay, I'll speak to Cynthia about that then.
I think that,
who's keeping the books of that now? Andy?
He's a signer on the account, and I'm a signer on the account.
But the accounting part of it, you're still doing now
I do
anyway?
that, yes.
Okay.
We do that. And Cynthia reconciles that account every month
Oh,
when she
okay,
reconciles the
gotcha.
bank accounts.
But is that the
So it's
count?
kept up to date.
That's the one we were talking about a while back, about it being accounted as floating around. The cemetery one, that we couldn't attach to anything. Is that what we're talking about? And we needed to get rid of it?
we got rid of one recently. What did we close? Seemed like we closed something else.
We transferred most of our funds from our general checking account in Citizens, but we left it open because we had the credit card with them
Okay,
still.
right.
Now we have a new credit card with M&T Bank, so I'll wait a month until we're sure that all the charges are through, and then our intent is to close all 3 accounts.
So do you have the cards now, or are they coming?
Yeah, Larry has one. and we
Okay,
have
so the
one.
old one is discontinued?
It's not yet, but it's going to be.
Okay, got it.
I don't want to use it anymore so that we can clear all the charges on it.
Yeah, yeah.
I think it's a good idea to try to keep one bank account secure rather than 4.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Good, good job.
So bring the cemetery account into the general fund checking account also, is what you're saying.
Yeah, and as long as Cynthia says that's okay, I think,
Okay.
as long as you're comfortable with that,
Yeah.
we concur.
I didn't know if the cemetery is set up in a different way that required separate checkbook.
Can't answer that question. Nothing makes me think that, as long as we segregate funds
Yes,
like we do with everything else.
Yeah.
Really well, so.
Well, no one else has access to that, do they?
Not when these accounts get closed. I mean, you'd have to, I can call Andy Crossman and see if there's any compelling reason to see if
he
that.
asked me to let him know when we moved the money
Okay.
here.
Okay.
Um,
But I think
But
as long
I
as
think
it's
he's probably
okay,
thinking if we're going to do the same, have a separate account.
yeah, which we don't need, right? We
No.
keep track our funds really well.
Yeah,
And then, I mean, really, I feel like the treasurer should be the only person writing checks.
true, yeah. Okay,
And we don't deny people checks. It's for
No.
we get a receipt, we write a check for the expense,
okay.
as long as it's been budgeted for.
Yeah, no one else should have, I mean, no one else should be writing checks other than the treasurer.
Well, I write them and the clerk signs them. That's part of our auditing suggestion this year, is that the person who writes the check does not sign the check. And also, we have a third party reconciling the statement. I think that's about as transparent as anybody can be with regards to accuracy.
I agree.
Tested it, I can't get any money.
Who's the third party, Cynthia?
Cynthia,
Yeah,
yeah,
that's perfect.
it is perfect,
Yeah, it's a good setup.
yeah.
Elaine, will we need a motion for that, for anything, like to close and to make sure?
Maybe just.
Just to be
You should
safe.
make a motion and second it, that it's okay to close those accounts when all the checks to them or charges to them have cleared. Because we might be required to show something like that when we go there to close it.
Okay.
Does Larry know he shouldn't be using that card anymore?
Oh, yeah, he has his new card.
Oh, he does,
He
okay.
returned the old one, he gave the
Oh,
one
good.
back to me.
Because I know he bought some change and stuff the other day, and I didn't know if he's still using it or not.
He did use it for something, that's why we're gonna wait another month.
Okay. Got it.
All through, but he's got the new one.
Okay, good.
I'll make a motion then to close those accounts as pending Cynthia's advice to you.
Okay.
Is that?
I'll second, sure.
Our next regular select board meeting, President's Day is coming up on the 22nd, is that right,
19?
19th? And so the town offices are not open. So we can, should we have a select board meeting that day? Do we need one? I think we're okay if we don't, but then we have town meeting.
Yeah, the next week, or week and a half, whatever it is, week and a half.
And so that would put our next meeting at the March 18th. Does that work for you?
Works for me.
Works for me.
I think that's it then, unless there's anything else. We just have some executives.
I just had
Yeah,
one
okay,
thing
sure.
that I forgot to ask about the agenda. The contract on our big printer has ended, and the person from McGee came in last week with the new contract. And I believe it's under $5,000. I can probably go ahead and approve that contract. They would like to take this printer out and put another one in, but it ends up costing us less than what it's costing us right now.
The one thing that I know about those is, I think this is probably more of a tech question, actually. Windows 11 won't print on some of these printers.
It won't?
But the newer the printer, the more likely it would be. So this is a newer printer, I'm sure, right?
I don't think Vincent wants us to get one, so Windows 11.
Okay.
That's the, right?
Yeah, I mean,
Should we check about that then?
Yeah, at
That's
some
an
point-
upgrade that we need?
At some point, no, I did speak with Vincent the other day about the IT components.
Uh-huh.
And we could probably talk about that offline too. So we're not talking about vulnerabilities and.
On the fly feed.
So I need to ask the salesman from McGee if it's
Compatible with Windows
compatible with
11.
Windows- Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
Because Windows 11 kicks the driver. It won't let the driver stay installed for some reason. I mean,
Okay.
somebody has a solution to it, but I've not
We
seen
don't
it.
need to get into that puddle, okay.
What do we have now?
Windows 10? Is that- Yeah.
Nobody wants to go to 11 as far as I can tell.
And we have to pay our what's it, the EPFT or whatever, we have to pay that via phone because our Windows 10 doesn't support
Oh,
it
okay.
online now. When we do payroll, we
Oh,
have to,
oh,
we
that's
have to
right.
call because they won't.
Why is it that he doesn't like Windows 11, I wonder? It's not compatible with
It's complicated. It's
Yeah.
like every time they come out with a new version, right, there's all these little quirks and features and problems to deal with. And they haven't really got them, it doesn't feel like they have them all ironed out yet, so he gets a lot of calls from frustrated people saying, this isn't working, so.
Because he said, don't do that. Okay, all right.
I'd say the same thing if I was him. I guess that's it.
Just that's it.
Piece of cake, right? Here you go.
The last one was a long meeting.